And now we're going to take a look at Jefferson curls for loading the spine and directly strength training the curved spine. So we talked about using something to elevate the body. I don't really have a step here, but I have a slant board. So I'll use the slant board in lieu of a step to get some space in front of me. So we want to get our elevation. The slant board allows you to lock in your ankle flexion and hamstring intensity a bit more, but it's not necessary for this. My ankle flexion is not beautiful, so I can't really use a super large angle here where it restricts my movement in my hips. We'll find a comfortable angle. And then we can do it with a bar. I'm going to start off with my heavy kettlebell hammer. And so we want to come at the top of the spine here, have a nice arc at the top. If you want to let your neck come up, that's fine. And then we tuck and roll our way down. I like to keep my hands as close to my body as possible just to get the back curving. And then I swing my arms out, loosen my shoulders, loosen my neck, loosen my shoulders, loosen my neck, and just allow my spine to curve deeply, even flexing my abs, flexing my knees out straight as I come down, and then slowly pushing my hips forward, and then straightening my spine up. Want to repeat these for 10. Trying to go lower and lower each time, nice and slow. Taking a second to loosen those joints and allow that spine to decompress and get some space. The way we load does change it. So if I want to load it differently, I can grab a medicine ball and I can hug it, and I can do a similar one here where I curve around the medicine ball to try and get that spinal curvature, and then I loosen my arms and let it hang here, pulling the ball kind of close to me to really get into that lower spine, locking the knees out, pushing the hips in as I curve myself up to the top. Now, should I not have have access to a step or a slant board, and my hands come to the ground really quickly, or I'm using a dumbbell and the weights on the dumbbell make it so that the floor is there before I can get to the bottom, then we can switch to the Zercher hold. So this will change the way the spine is loaded, the way the stretch feels. So here we catch it in the elbows, and then now we have much more space for our arms to hang and a bit of a different shoulder engagement and neck engagement. So again, starting at the top, curling down, trying to keep the bar close to me until I'm at the bottom, and then loosening my shoulders, loosening my neck and head, stretching, extending those hamstrings, allowing my back to curve as much as possible as I come down, and then bringing it up. This is my favorite way to train it, as it conditions the arms and the shoulders to doing more dynamic styles of exercise. Also, it's the most available in the gym without needing equipment. It is more intense for me though, so if my back's not feeling great, I don't start with the Zerchers. And then, of course, if you have a nice step, you can just hang it with a bar, load the bar up nice. But once you get good at this, you're on the floor pretty quickly, and it's not ideal. Now, once we've trained the Zerchers, or rather the Jeffersons, it's the front and back flexion of the spine. We also want to work our lateral flexion of the spine. We have the back extension rack. You can put our feet into the back extension rack, lean out, and then curve under. I don't have a rack here, so I just use my body. I like to grab a nice heavy weight to rep this one with because I want to get that extra pull out of it. So as I'm here, I'm going to let the weight draw itself down my side, but I want to shift my hips over so that my balance is on the opposite foot. And I want to get as much length out of this side of my body as possible while compressing this side as much as possible, trying to keep my shoulders in the same plane, not twisting away or into it. And then I'm going to come straight up and also hip into the weight to get a full stretch out of this side now and a compression of the unloaded side. And I'm going to repeat this 5 to 10 times depending on the weight. Really want to feel this at the end of it. So a lot of times I can rep this pretty high reps at lower weights. Usually feels better than high weight. Obviously doing both sides, repping this 5 to 10 times or 10 to 20 times. The Jeffersons, we like to rep it 5 times at first, feeling comfortable getting up to 10 reps. If you're doing 10 reps in each direction, that's a really nice way to directionally strengthen the spine. Really, the way to shift the weight there's no wrong way. We can keep the weight loaded fully on one side. This will pull us a little bit further down into the compression. Or we can shift the weight onto the opposite foot. That will give us a bit of a deeper stretch out along the hip flexor here. So you can play with both of the ways you shift the weight to see which one feels more effective to your lats. We're really trying to get that side body connection here, connected into the spine. So that is the direct spinal training for a day. The Jefferson stuff, I like to rep 3 to 5 sets of it, you know, straight, side, rest for a bit. If you want to work in some other exercises in there, like a pull-up or something, or pull-ups and dips, just to give the spine a rest before going full into the Jeffersons continuously, that's fine as well. Putting the first part of the program together, the warm-up, the prep, the mobility, then this as your spinal work, that's a complete day. After that, if you want to do your ancillary work, your bench presses, your strength training, bodybuilding stuff, that's all a good go. The next video will be the alternate days spinal strength training.